We should hear the lady.
Live streaming is
Oh, man. I hope it doesn't sound like that. Holy moly. No. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and.
Is that your fire extinguisher that chirps every once in a while, or smoke detector that's chirping, Ben?
You hear something chirping right now?
Every once in a while, yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice it. I mean,
because I know it went.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. I blocked it out in my mind. Didn't notice it.
Maybe you need to change the batteries.
Maybe I do. Yeah. Share my screen. Okay. Entire screen. Now. All right.
Great.
You got me now?
Yep. I'm seeing.
Okay, so
I'm seeing your.
You shouldn't be seeing it.
Go ahead.
All right. Let me see if I can go here.
Zoom.
Oops. No. All right.
Welcome everyone to Upstate Carolina Linux Users Group and Columbia Linux Users Group, the South Carolina Linux Users Groups. Tonight we got Ben Francis going to give us a talk on firewalls for home security. Take it away, Ben.
Okay, hey y'all. Sorry about the late start here. I've got a fast machine. I swear to God, and it's for some reason it's just slow as heck right now. I just added 8 gigs of RAM yesterday, so that might have just speeded it up, but seems like it's slowed down. Anyway, last month we were talking about what we're going to talk about this month, and stupidly I suggested firewalls because I thought I knew a little bit something about it. And so here we are. So anyway, let's go to the that's all right. Yeah, here we go. Security 101. So firewalls. I know this is a knowledgeable group here, but some people might see it on the internet, and it's firewalls are just part of your home security strategy. You still need antivirus if you're on Windows, and probably an intrusion detection system also, as well as making sure that you have physical security of your box. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all do now that we're cooped up at home. But if you're in a Starbucks or something else, then you're gonna want to make sure that you or a public place like an airport, then you make sure you have your hard drive encrypted. If you're at home, make sure you change your router's admin password so that it's not admin. Make sure you have user accounts with strong passwords, and don't surf in public without your VPN wetsuit. All right, we got to talk about Windows because we're all probably in hybrid environments, and there's more firewalls than just Linux firewalls. So let's talk about Windows Defender. It's the default firewall for Windows. And this screen right here is going to show you exactly why it is the Swiss cheese it is. So this is not a running VM right now. I figured I was going to have problems with Windows, and I did. So I just took a screenshot and put it in this presentation just to show that this is one of 3 pages of allow rules in the Windows firewall. And you get there by going to, just typing in firewall down here at the bottom of the search, and Windows Defender firewall comes up, and then you click on this little firewall monitoring icon, and it brings up all your firewall rules. So anyway, this is the last part of 69 firewall rules that allow inbound access to the machine. Let's talk about this inbound right here. The default state of a firewall should be that it assumes the user is generally knowledgeable about the internet, and that it's okay to let the user go outside and go to any spot on the internet that the user wants. And it kind of assumes that the user knows what he's doing. But of course, a lot of users don't. I got 5 kids, 14 now. They don't know what they're doing. So, they're going to go find places on the internet where they shouldn't be. And what you got to know is that there's nothing in the default state of a firewall or any firewall that is going to stop that, because it is configured to allow outgoing access to anything. In addition to that, the inbound rules are what you want to worry about. And this is where the difference between a Linux box and a Windows box is readily apparent. If you go ahead and fire up an Ubuntu server VM and choose server or minimal install, the only thing that's going to be open on an inbound rule to that box is port 22, which is the SSH port for connecting remotely to that server from another client. So that's one rule that would be open on Ubuntu, compared to this mess of 69 rules that just allows everybody and their brother to come in, and you have to trust that all 69 of these programs are secure and not hacked to death by Chinese and Russians and NSA and everybody else that wants to spy on everything that we're doing. And we know that there used to be a standing rule at the NSA that to work there, you had to have 25 exploits in your pocket ready to go at any time, in case you needed to hack into some machine at some point. And all that stuff was stolen. It's out there. The CIA just got hacked to pieces, and all their tools are out there. So NSA, CIA, all those tools, all the great stuff is out there in the hands of the bad guys, and we didn't stop it. So everybody's vulnerable now. And so I had to get a screenshot of this to show you what you're dealing with on Windows. Now, this is not to say that Windows Firewall can't be made more secure by turning all this stuff off. All these check marks, you could change them all to block, and then you'd be a lot safer. But then your Spotify music would stop working, your Zoom meeting would stop working, your Xbox console would stop working, your Microsoft Photos, Microsoft Messenger, all that stuff. Why they require inbound access, I don't know. It seems like if outbound access should get it, but that's the way they design the program. So And especially Zoom here. Zoom just allows everything from everybody, and they've had their security problems. So anybody with a hack on the Zoom program can, pretty much get into this box, whenever they want. All right, so enough about that one. Here's Netflix on a Windows Defender firewall. Netflix at least adds the app package identifier, so it can't be hacked so easily. The Zoom one, this is just blank. Let's go to Zoom. Oh shoot! Well, I thought I had that one, but yeah, here's Zoom, and here's anybody on from anywhere on any port can connect to any local port from any remote port and any authorized user. So it doesn't take a hacker much long at all to figure out what an authorized user should be and just start brute forcing your machine and be able to get in. So it's harder than what I'm making it out to be, but not to those guys. All right. So let's talk about the Linux firewalls that are out there. All the Linux firewalls are based on the Linux kernel module NetFilter that runs as a kernel module, and the classic way to deal with the NetFilter module was the IP tables program, and IP tables would just it is the most flexible Linux firewall out there, and it has got a lot of features that firewall command and uncomplicated firewall from Ubuntu they can't match. And I've known people that specifically went with IP tables just because it's got more features than the other two. And I've worked with it a lot, and it's really great command line program for working with firewalls. Other people like, the GUIs, like pfSense on BSD, and that's fine too. That's great, and it works really well. Fail to ban. I wanted to mention this. It's a tool that you can add to your firewall to ban IPs that get authentication failures after a certain amount of tries, like 5 or 10 times. If another machine can't log in 10 times, then it puts you in by default a 15-minute jail, where and that jail is implemented through the NetFilter firewall, and you can see that in IP tables. You can see everybody that's in jail at any certain time by just pulling up IP tables and taking a look. And so yeah, let's failed ban. All right, let's get out of this and go to my laptop, and let's take a look at IP tables. This is my go-to. And this is after I have enabled the uncomplicated firewall. So I'm going to have to talk you through this a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, a lot of stuff. All right. I'm gonna just show from the. I'm going to talk about the chains for that IP tables uses to manage rules. So you got three chains by default. You got the input chain, obviously for packets coming into the system. You got a forward chain, and usually there wouldn't be any rules in here at all because the forward chain turns your computer into a router. And then you got an output chain. This one is usually open to the internet, and so it allows all traffic from your machine to the internet. And notice the policies here. The default policy for output is accept. So if you don't have any rules allowing traffic to Google, then it's okay, because the default policy is just to let it go anyway. So this whole thing could be blank and it would be fine. But you can see that we've got some reject output statements, and track output statements, and that is all to deal with connection tracking that Linux provides. So back on the input chain right here, you'll notice that we've got a default policy of drop, and that happened because I installed fail to ban. So basically, if this computer doesn't, if all these rules don't work, then and a packet comes in and doesn't match one of these things, then that packet falls right on the floor, and never goes anywhere. It just goes straight to the bit bucket. Notice also that you can do some primitive mass packet analysis, because IP tables will show you how many packets this rule has seen. And you see I got 705,000 packets on this rule, and only 156 here, and then zeros on the logging input and rejecting input and tracking input. So what happened when I enabled UFW is these standard input chains, the input, the forward, and output chains, I only had 3 to begin with. As soon as I enabled UFW, this 3 chains turned into 35 chains. And you can see them all here: UFW, all this stuff. And I don't have the slightest clue what all that is doing. It's I understood input, forwarding, and output, and I was good with that because that's nice and simple. But UFW added all this other stuff, and maybe there's somebody here smart about UFW that can talk about it better than I can. Do we have any of those type persons? Yeah. Well, it's uncomplicated firewall, but looks pretty complicated to me. Where it is not complicated is the way you deal with it. Like if you want to see, hold on, there we go. If you want to see the applications list for your uncomplicated firewall, you do UFW app list, and it just gives you a simple, okay, CUPS is available. CUPS is the printing system for Linux, and that's the only thing that's available right now. And there's also an info command. You can get some info about CUPS that says, okay, CUPS runs on port 631. It gives a little description. About a little description for the service and the port that runs on. That's it. Okay. All right. So that was IP tables.
So does
Oh, we went.
UFW
Yeah.
is it really just a wrapper around IP tables and like have a database of services like cups and that sort of thing?
Okay, so it's not a wraparound IP tables. It's a wraparound net filter, because IP tables is a front end to net filter, just like UFW is a front end to net filter, and like firewall command for CentOS is a front end for net filter. So it's all the same net filter kernel modules, um, just different ways of talking to them. So IP tables has been the standard for forever and ever, probably since 2000, I think. So this is what it looks like. And I kind of wish I had turned UFW on, but I did. All right. And then what did I do? Install failed ban. That was right here. Setting up failed to ban. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Okay, and it says you read head will be a profile on the next boot. That doesn't matter. And then let's see. Oh, fail 3 ban. That hasn't come out yet. I'm looking for the enable for. I think we got to do a system control status failed ban. See if it started. But it didn't. No, it is. It's fine. Started. Okay. All right. So I was expecting a whole bunch of rules at the end of IP tables that was showing people in jail. Where is it? But I don't see it. And I'm not. Okay. I'm not sure UFW and failed ban to work together. All right. But it's running. Shoot. All right. Let me see if I can. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stop failed ban. I'm gonna get rid of UFW. Okay. UFW disable. Okay, good. Now we can take a look at what the. Oh my goodness! All the changes are still there. Okay. All right. Now let's see if we can start failed ban and see what we get. Not what I was expecting. Sorry. Any failed ban experts out there? What am I doing wrong? I think I screwed it up with by enabling UFW because we still got all this UFW stuff. Obviously, after you disable UFW, it looks like you gotta get rid of all these rules. So that brings up a point. How do you use IP tables to input rules and take rules out? Well, let's take this one right here. Let's say we want to delete it. So it's capital D for delete. You have to specify the chain. Oh, come on. Yeah, there we go. All right. Actually, I think it's drop. No. Hold on. Delete. Delete chain. Oh, delete chain. Dash X chain. Okay. Dash capital X. That's one that I have not seen. Too many links. Why would it say that? Too many links.
Do you need to remove the rule that refers to it in the input or output? Or input, rather?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I mean, there are no rules here. I mean, once you got all the rules deleted from the chain, then I think that allows you to.
No, but I think
What was that?
the input chain refers to this chain.
Oh. UFW tracking. All right, let's go up there and see that. All right, here's the input chain. Yeah, there it is. So a lot of traffic matched that and was immediately jumping to this UFW track input chain. And where was that? Okay. Yeah. UFW track input. Here we go. Too many links. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, you're right. It's got one reference from the input from up here. So I guess it can't. I would have to delete this first. Goodness. Okay, so that brings here. I can do that. So I was thinking of the zero out option, but that just zeroes out the numbers for each rule. So we're gonna let's see, delete chain dash D chain. Placeless flush. Flush is close, but I really need to. Yeah, I really need to just have 3 empty rules and then save IP tables and then restore. Which brings us to what we can talk about right now is, well, once you got your IP tables just the way you like it, how do you save it? Well, that command is IP table save, and you have to do use the redirect operator, and then specify a path. And let's see, in Red Hat it would be etc sysconfig IP tables like that. and it would save it there, just like a redirect operator should. In Ubuntu, let's not do. Let's try. Oh, nope. IP route. Network maybe. Network. All right. Find an SE name. IP tables. Nope. Well, you can just, if there's no other users on the laptop and you were just working as yourself, then you can just save it to the home directory. So you would do IP table save, and I'm already in the home directory as root, so that's a safe place to save it. So you just say save IP tables right here in root. Oh, see that? I forgot to put the redirect operator. So if you don't put the redirect operator, you get the unknown arguments found on command line. If you do use the redirect, then it works. Now, if you wanted to restore that, and I spelled it wrong, you would use IP tables restore and then specify the file. And then you go check it. Oh. And there we have it again. The thing to remember about IP tables restore is that it doesn't save what you had before it does that. It just overwrites the rules as you got them. So if you say the bad config, then you could easily lock yourself out of the box with a bad config set. All right. Speaking of locking yourself out of the box, so there's a way to do that pretty easily. If this word right here is drop instead of accept, and you delete all the rules here, let's say you delete all the rules in this chain, then there's no way you're getting back in that box without stopping the box and rebooting from a CD or an ISO image, because you've changed the policy from default drop everything and you deleted all the rules, so nothing can get in. So that is yes, Jace?
Does that include console?
I don't believe it does. So yeah, I think if you went down to the data center and I've had to do this, then well, I mean, on a server you got a separate plugin for the console, and that brings you into the management console, which doesn't have a firewall on it. So yeah, you should be able to get into that. But you might be talking about a different kind of console, aren't you?
Well, no, either that, like an iDRAC or something like that, or if you're talking about a laptop, if you log into the laptop, that's the console I'm referring to. But
yeah, right. So there's another rule here. Oh, wait, hold on. All right, so there's another rule that you usually see as the first rule in the input chain. Usually right here, you see a bunch of VIBR zeros here, but usually I would see a rule for the loopback device. Where is it? Okay, yeah, this in and out. Jace, why am I not seeing this? See, I'm used to seeing, like, in this column right here. There's usually a what type of interface you're dealing with. And I'm not seeing it right now. I'm wondering.
Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't that weird?
It's strange to me.
Yeah, I mean, this verbose option right here that I specified is supposed to allow you to see the loopback devices and the Ethernet devices and the wireless devices. All that's supposed to show up if you specify the V. Otherwise, see, if I just type IP tables dash NL. See, we lost some columns here. We have product, protocol, opt, source, and destination. So, but back up here, we had, we didn't have this in. We didn't have this in and out columns. And I thought in referred to the interface. Yeah, it does, because VRBR0 is an interface. If you type IP A, there's an interface. There's the VIRBR0 interface.
Virtual bridge.
Right. Yeah. This is the wireless. That's the wired, and then there's the loopback, and then VNet 0. I'm not sure what that one is. You know, Jace? VNet 0.
Is it the VM?
Yeah, that's what it is. Well, yeah, I think that's what it is. It's the VM. So anyway, I was expecting to see the loopback device show up as an interface in these rules, and it doesn't. If you're using IP tables NL, it doesn't show up. So you got to use NVL, the V switch, and that gives you the interface right here. And all this is, I mean, all this stuff used to line up before. I think it's because the uncomplicated firewall screwed up all the indenting. So this all goes with this column right here, and then this is an actual interface, and so it's kind of tough to put together. So let's see if we can do some awk magic. Wait, hold on. Print. Did that fix this? No, it didn't. I was expecting awk to kind of push this out to the right a little bit, but it didn't. Probably. No. I don't know why I didn't take it. Oh well. That was my hack. Anyway,
now that you mentioned that, I wonder if maybe it's the place that you and I both worked at where they set up all the loot bags, because I don't see it in my default rules either.
yeah, okay. All right.
Loot back, that is.
Yeah, this stuff used to be all lined up nice and in nice columns and everything. But UFW really just screws it all up. And I'm probably getting hacked to pieces because I haven't enabled the firewall. But anyway, the way you read these rules, source and destination, that's easy to figure out. Protocols, UDP, and destination port is 53. 53 is used for DNS. And since this is on the input chain, the destination port, it's you have to think of it as from the view of the packet. Where is the packet going? Well, it's coming into the box. So the destination port that it wants to go to is 53. And that's to resolve DNS over UDP. Two protocols here: UDP, the fire and forget protocol, and then TCP, the one that actually makes sure that your data got transmitted. Port 67. I looked that up earlier today and I forgot. What? Oh.
Boot PS?
Here's how you find out what a port is. What a port does or what it's supposed to do. There's a file called SE Services on your box, and it has all the standard default ports that everything is supposed to be. So if you grep for 67 on SE Services, boot PS. So boot P is a boot protocol, and boot PS, I'm guessing, is the secure boot protocol, kind of like HTTP and HTTPS. Am I guessing right there? Anybody know?
I think the S stands for server. Boot P server.
Okay. All right. Serves me right for speculating. But yeah, you can see there's a lot more 67s because there's a lot more ports with 67 in them. 9673 is for ZOP. Don't know what that is. I mean, but if you got a question about what ports are being used, what it's supposed to be used for, then that services file has it. Doesn't have to be followed, by the way. Linux doesn't enforce that at all. You could decide to put your web server on port 3 if you wanted. But the web browser wouldn't necessarily know to connect to that. It would just try to go to port 80 or port 443, which are the standard web ports. All right. Oh yeah. Okay. So back on the presentation. Yeah, we didn't see the failed ban stuff, but basically it just puts you in a temporary IP tables jail and keeps you there for 15 minutes. And it's a good tool. Good tool to put in your arsenal. And it's kind of fun to watch Russian hackers get thrown into jail for temporary anyway, while they try to hack your server. All right, so logging and rate limiting. This is one of my favorite things to do at a previous job. This command right here. Oops. I can't highlight it. Oh yeah, I can. All right, here we go. copy that. So this command right here uses IP tables on the input chain. That A right there adds a rule to the input chain. The -M says, okay, this is a module called the limit module. And we're going to limit. We want to save our log. We don't want our logs to go crazy, so we're just going to say we're going to limit 2 log messages per minute on this box. And then the J's means jump to the log chain and set this parameter. We're gonna use a log prefix. We're gonna actually write to the log with this prefix right here. IP tables dropped. And my quotes are screwed up here because Impress doesn't know what to do with 2 double quotes except to make them both open-ended like that. And then, log levels can go from 1 to 7. This one's choosing the middle of the road log level 4. And so they start from information, and they go all the way down to error, which would be log level 7. So log level 1 is info. So if you put log level 1, you're going to get a whole bunch of output. So let's copy this and input and put it into my IP tables and see what happens. So go ahead and paste. And we've got a capital I, so we need to change that to small I. All that is the same. Looks good to me.
Change your smart quotes.
Oh, I gotta change my smart quotes, the dumb ones. Yeah, there we go. And it took it. So now let's see how it looks like in the input chain. You can actually specify which chain you're going to look at, so you don't get the whole doggone thing. And so here we are, input chain, and here's our log rule, and it's already got 5 packets, and that's kind of expected because our default policy is to accept input rules or all packets that are coming to the input chain, and so now we're logging them, and now we want to see, we want to follow the log. Var log, and in Ubuntu the log is a syslog. In Red Hat or CentOS it would be messages. So let's see what it looks like. Okay, all right. So all right, I want to go ahead and stop this so we can just take a look at one of these log messages. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7 packets that were dropped. So each one of these lines is a packet, and you can see here's our message that we told it to use. Okay, and then it told us, okay, wireless interface, the WLP3S0, with that MAC address coming from this source to this computer. This computer is 1.66 with a length of 101 bytes. TOS, I think that's term of service. Not entirely sure, but this is the time to live. In seconds. and then the protocol is UDP. Not sure what the DF is. Source port is 10,000, and destination port on my machine was 41,795. Length is 81. I'm looking for where it specifies whether it's a SYN packet or not. I don't see it. Usually I do. Okay.
UDP.
It's what, Andy?
It's UDP.
Oh yeah.
Not gonna have
Oh
a
yeah,
SYN
yeah.
packet.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Okay, you got a little confused there. All right, so these are all, you can see these are all UDP packets, so they don't have SYN packets. It's just each one is a fire and forget from this server. So, all right, so why is that happening? So now we found this person is sending UDP packets to my server. So now I'm curious. Now I want to know why. It's probably innocuous, but you never know. Oh shoot! Why didn't I pick that up? All right, I gotta do the yeah, there we go. Double click. All right, so what I tried to do there is I was guessing, and I was hoping that maybe there was a reverse pointer from this IP back to its DNS name, but there wasn't, as exemplified by that not found. So I don't know who this guy is. I do know he's from the public internet because that's a 132 address, and the only private addresses are, start with 10 or 192.168 or 172.16. Did I get that right? No, 172.31. Yeah, 172.16 all the way up to 172.31. Okay. Anyway, so those are the only private addresses. Well, also 127. That's private. But that's not one of those. So I know this is. So that tells me it's from the public internet, and maybe this guy is probing my system or something. And then you would want to get into the whole intrusion detection. You would want to get a intrusion detection and prevention program, IDP, to be able to diagnose this stuff and see who's trying to get on your system.
Hey Ben.
Anyway, yeah.
I did a who is on that IP address, and it's showing it to be Oracle Public Cloud. So Oracle owns that IP address.
Oh, you looked it up on the interwebs?
Yeah, well, I did a who is in that IP address, and that IP address is owned by Oracle Public Cloud.
Oh, okay.
So maybe someone's got a VM in Oracle's cloud.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think whois was still working. I saw a message where they disabled it in the past, like
yeah, it's hit or miss.
A couple months ago or 6 months ago or whatever. But apparently it still works. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of hit or miss. A lot of companies
That's a big.
aren't doing it.
Yeah, everybody's used to using it, so. I think they want to disable it because it's not verifiable. If you were, you could if you could set up a man in the middle server that says all this information right here, and says, "Oh yeah, I'm Oracle. Go ahead, send me your stuff," and you never know. Never know. So, I mean, it's the same thing between HTTP and HTTPS. You go to HTTP server, you really don't know if you're at the right place because there's no way to verify it. So, switch all your stuff to secure servers. Make your server secure so everybody can prove that you are who you say you are. All right. So Oracle, see, I've been doing this a long time, and I had no idea that Oracle was pinging my. This is a brand new machine. I created this like 2 days ago, and already Oracle knows where I am and that I've got an Ubuntu box behind a firewall, no less, a network firewall. I mean, I say network firewall, but it's just a standard ASUS router. But they can get right through it. And I've changed the password on that, so I don't think the average person out there has any chance when they try to protect their data. I mean, the only solution is to talk to knowledgeable people and buy the same firewall and intrusion detection systems that they're buying. It's certainly not me. Look at this. Jeez. Anyway, so the reason I wanted to mention the logging is that it's also valuable not just in learning who's trying to get on your system, but it's also valuable for rate limiting. So I've got this side project where one of the problems is to there's an interface that has a 1 megabyte limit on the interface, and if you go over that 1 megabyte, then you start to pay buku charges on the cloud provider. So they're fine as long as you go up to 1 megabyte, but then after that you're gonna pay like $500 or $600 for going over it. So there's a steep penalty. So how would you use IP tables to keep your interface from going over 1 megabyte of bandwidth? Well, you would do it through IP tables and that limit module. And watch this right here. Pattern not found. IP table's own documentation doesn't even mention limit at all. So you got to jump out of the box, as it were, and then you just do what everybody else does and go to Google and do IP tables limit limit rate. Of course, you gotta be slow for me. All right. Per IP rate limiting with here we go. You can push it. Apparently, I had this open before. Okay, so this guy was talking about one day, a quiet afternoon in March, where he was just sitting around looking at the server graphs, and all of a sudden, boom, he starts getting DDoS from one IP, and he had a need to flag that IP and limit the rate to like 1 packet per hour or something, so that his server wouldn't get DOSed. So here's where he's doing. He's appending to the input. You can use append or the capital A to do that, and then he's specifying the source. This is the bad guy, and then he's saying jump to the drop chain, which just drops it right on the floor. And this jump could be dash jump, or it could be dash J. So now I'm gonna look forward. Wait. Let's use the computer. Rate limiting. Pushes. I think he's. Oh, okay. Oh, this is pusher.com. I thought he was going to do this with IP tables, but he's pushing his product, and his product is called Pusher. Oh, yeah, here we go. Here we go. Rate limiting with the limit module. New chain. All right, so he's creating a new chain called rate limit. Well, first he's flushing. He's flushing all his rules, and then he's creating a new chain called rate limit. And then he's appending to input. He's matching on the connection tracker. And if the connection state is new, he's jumping to the rate limit chain. Okay, and then he's adding a rule to the rate limit chain saying limit 50 per second and limit the burst to 20. And then if it doesn't match that, then he drops them. And I'm trying to figure out what the limit burst 20 is. These are the connections we'll accept per second. So jump to accept. Blah, blah, blah. Why would the? I'm wondering why the limit burst is smaller than the regular limit per second. I think I think that means 20 packets in a row at one time. Okay. Oh, he's going to explain limit burst later. Okay. Here we go. Hold on. First 20 packets will be accepted in the first 20 milliseconds, depleting the credit to 0. The credit will recharge by 1 every 20 milliseconds, allowing a single packet through each time it is recharged. This gives a total of 50. Okay. All right. Well, see that? I did learn something new. I hope you did too. And he's got a little graph here. Burst limit is got a credit of 5. Then it goes down to 0. Denied connections, no credits left. And then every so many milliseconds, every 20 milliseconds you get more credits going back up. And then you get back up to the burst limit after so many 100 milliseconds. So that's getting really fine grained on being able to manage a server, but servers think that fast, so you have to do it, I guess. And then his fix 3 was rate limiting per IP address with a hash limit. Whoa! All right. Hash limit. Limit applies a single limit globally to all connections. Hash limit applies limits to groups of connections. Oh, that would be better. And a group can be a single source address. Each connection group gets its own credit account. Okay, all right. So that makes sense. So if you know there was this Russian AP advanced persistent threat that had a whole bunch of servers, like 100 servers attacking your box, then they could all go into this one group, and you could use this hash limit module to fix your denial of service that way. Okay, so I'm gonna copy that and put it in the Jesse Meet chat. Oh, that's the nickname. Oh, come on. Where did I put the chat? Oh, I gotta choose my name. All right, that was the chat. Ta-da! Okay. There you go. All right. Well, I talked a whole bunch about that. And that's basically the last thing I wanted to talk about was the rate limiting. Does anybody else have any questions or want to share their experience with their war stories with IP tables or DDoSing? Is anybody using firewall command on Red Hat and CentOS? No. What about UFW on Ubuntu?
The funny thing is, for Red Hat at work, we actually just use IP tables.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see a lot of UFW was more for people didn't want to deal with the complexities of IP tables. Obviously, that's why they created it. But that's for Ubuntu. But firewall command on CentOS, I guess it's kind of the same, created in the same light. But you like to have two layers of protection anyway. You want to have your, for the home anyway, you want to have your router protecting you, and like mine isn't doing. And you also want to have a firewall on your host box. Just defense in depth. More layers that you got that the hacker has to jump over, the less likely he's gonna do it. So find out with physical security, the user accounts, and maybe throw in a failed ban and a intrusion detection program. You've done all you can do to protect yourself. Any other questions? Okay, so that's all I got. You got anything, Jace?
No, I appreciate you giving us the talk. That's great. Thank you very much, Ben. I think everyone's clapping right now. So, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Anyone else have any questions for Ben? Anything else to discuss?
Hey, Jace, I did forget one thing. I want to add. Let me go back to. I forgot to mention state tracking. So on a router, a router doesn't save any state well, commercial routers don't anyway. So as soon as a packet leaves the router, as long as the rule satisfies the router and the packet's gone, the router doesn't care about it anymore. It forgets it immediately. Whereas on a host firewall, like I was showing you here, it does care because it's got a kernel module called Connection Tracker that can track all the TCP connections and let you know what state they're in, whether they just initiated, whether they're waiting for more data, or whether they're connected or whether they've lost a connection and waiting for the connection to be reaped. And let's see, and you can see that through. Used to be the old netstack command has changed to the SS command or socket statistics, and the switches that you use are N for don't resolve DNS addresses, V for verbose, okay, TN, not V, TCP, don't resolve DNS addresses, and L is for just the listening sockets and show me the process that's listening. And on this box, we've got 5 programs listening. So we got cupsd, the printer daemon, listening on 631, and that's a IPv6 address. You got the QEMU hypervisor listening on 5900. cupsd again is listening on 631 for the IPv4 ports, and then systemd and DNS master listening there. On port 53 for local and for the virtualization network. So, and where does the connection tracker show up? Usually right after the loopback. And it's not here. It's usually the second rule. You want to allow all the connection requests from your loopback device, and then for your Ethernet devices and wireless, there's usually a second rule right around here. Right around here that allows you to listen to the it's a rule for the connection tracker that will have in this right hand part right here it would have connection. Oh yeah, there it is. CT state. Sorry, this one right here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So that connection state related and established, that allows you to get your web pages basically, because when you go out and connect to a web server, it's from you to the web server, so that is allowed. But normally, the traffic coming back in would not be allowed from the web server, but it is because of this rule right here, related and established. And the source is anybody. All zeros right here means anybody in the whole world. And it's allowed into my system right there. That's my virtual my virtual machine subnet. And the default is to accept those packets. So that is why you can go out to the web and get your return traffic, because of that rule right there. Okay, sorry. I did want to mention that. So, any questions? Okay, now I'm done for sure.
Well, thank you, Ben. Appreciate that.
Sorry.
So it sounds like next month a request was for cron and similar technologies to schedule tasks. So I guess I'll be giving a talk on cron, maybe Anacron and other similar cron-y things. And Andy will, if he's available, be able to do system D timers, which I don't know about, so that'll be good for me. And I guess that's about it. And unless anyone wants to hang around and talk about something else, questions maybe on something unrelated to the talk. Well, if not, then I guess y'all have a great evening, a great afternoon tomorrow, and we'll see you next month.
Okay, I'll try to get the video up tonight.
Say it one more time.
All right, talk to y'all later. All right.
I think he said he'd try to get the video up tonight.
Okay, thank you. I'm
Yeah, that's
wondering
it.
if I've got a bad connection or something. 'Cause, I'm only hearing every other word.
Yeah, you're coming in broken, Jace,
Am I? Sorry.
but that's okay. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Thanks a lot, Ben.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Y'all take care.
See you, Jace.
See you, Daryl.